Dominating your fantasy league? Prove it.
Shaping up to be a great game between these two teams. There's no telling what might happen.
Enhance the game with 3 easy steps. Predict, compete, and win. Start now and play your first $20 risk-free. Only on WINVIEW.
What's up, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to TDPHINSTALK, home of the real Miami Dolphin fans. Yes, we are live here in the middle of the day because we have so much to talk about. We're about to dive in. Shout out to the Mod Squad. Shout out to all the subscribers. Shout out to all the members to the channel. I see you already in here, Pete, man. We already got 100 people in the building. Listen, y'all got to hit that like button now. Let's go ahead and get it started off on the right foot because we got a lot of conversation that's about to take place. And this is going to be a good conversation. This is going to be a fair conversation. This is going to be a transparent conversation, and it's going to be an honest conversation. This isn't going to be TD, the Dolphin fan. This isn't going to be TD in his feelings about anybody, two or nothing. This is just going to be the honest truth, reality, what I truly believe deep down inside without having any sides, no agendas, no none of that mess. Just talking to y'all about the state of the Miami Dolphins when it comes to Tagovailoa, Deshaun Watson, Grier, Brian Flores, 22 accusers, the NFL, or the whole 9 yards. We got to talk about it. Pete said Ross will get his new car with the custom bumper. That's why it's taking longer. Relax. Watson a fish for life. We'll see. We'll see, Pete. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about that in detail because, I mean, this whole situation is loaded. This whole situation is just, it's been a mess from the get-go. And it got even worse, but we're going to break it all down over here. We're going to talk about some of the things that are true, some of the things that are false, who's lying, who's not. We're going to go all the way in on this one, okay? Shout out to the homie Pete. Shout out to Damien. I see you in the building, man. Glad you're rocking here with us. Glad everybody who's here with us. Again, let's hit the like button. Let's get 100 likes before we get started with the meat of the content. Let's go ahead and get 100 likes, y'all. Punch that like button. We're going to get started, but we need to hit that like button, all right? At least 100 likes, all right? YouTube ain't going to send a notification out to everybody, so we got to hit that like button so that we can get all the people in here, all right? Because whenever I start talking, people are going to come in 30 minutes late, and they're going to argue with me about something that I already dispelled or said in the conversation, okay? Let's make sure let's hit that like button. We 20 likes away. We 20 likes away. Let's get that like button hit. And I know we're in the middle of the day and our whole Fins family can't be here because a lot of people are working and things of that nature. You know, we understand that, but they'll catch this later. But everybody who's here right now, you get to sit in on this live conversation. So hit the like button. Show your appreciation for the channel. Not for me, for the channel, all right? It's not about me. It's about the channel, okay? All right. TD, you catch Flores' interview? He admitted he was 1% control of roster. Actually, that's why I was late, because I saw he went live, and I said, I got to hear what he had to say, and boy, did he say a lot, and a lot of nothing, but we'll break that down, too. All of that's coming, all right? All right, the homie said, why Grier out here lying? He knows he wanted Watson. I don't think he said he didn't want Watson. From what I've seen from Grier so far, he didn't say he didn't want Watson. So I can't sit here and say that he's out here lying. Now the way that he phrased things, that's different. Anyway, we got our 100 likes. Let's go ahead and dive into this. We'll have probably 200-300 people in here soon, but y'all make sure y'all tell them to hit the like button in the comment section. Let's get started. I'm glad y'all are here for this live stream because I truly and I got to be honest with y'all. I want to talk to everybody in this watching this video now, who's watching now or who's going to watch it later. Let's not fight. This isn't a live stream to fight anybody. This isn't a live stream to raise our voice. This isn't a live stream to told you so or blah, 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 this, that, and this. This is a live stream of the facts and the truth. And this is a live stream about the state of the Miami Dolphins in this entire situation that went down. This is a live stream to talk about the future and what we do going forward. This is a live stream to address all of the things that have happened over the last 6 months. 6 probably ain't fair. Maybe it's 7. I don't know. Whatever. The reason why I wanted to start out by saying that is because I'm starting to learn that people won't get the message if they don't just calm down and stop listening to argue and stop listening to rebuttal. I'm starting to find that there's too many people that listen waiting to rebuttal. When we got real information that if you just pay attention and focus, let it finish, you might see what's being said, okay? So this ain't about fighting. This ain't about going back and forth with people. This is one of those old school streams where we get down to the facts and we talk about where this team is. And I put some people at ease about this whole situation. All right, let's get started. Thank y'all for joining us. We got 200 people in here. Make sure you hit that like button. First and foremost, I like Tua Tagovailoa. He's a great man. He's an honest man. He carries himself the right way. I don't know what his teammates think about him. As a quarterback in the NFL, Tua Tagovailoa is showing average ability right now, in my opinion. Can he get better? I truly do believe he can. I actually do believe he has gotten better. I just personally feel like the better that he's gotten isn't good enough and never will be good enough. But who am I to put the nail in the coffin for his future? I'm nobody. I'm just a guy that's giving you my opinion, whether you agree or not. I'm not the man that puts the nail in the coffin for his opinion, for his future, excuse me. But that's what I truly believe, and that's what I communicate on this channel. And at some point, I'm either going to be right or I'm either going to be wrong. And time tells that. Not arguing back and forth with people. Time tells it. I say what I say, and time tells us, right? But what I try to help people understand is that a lot of times my opinion isn't about just my opinion. My opinion, a lot of times, are led by what the team believes as well. And one of the number one driving factors, and when I say one of the number one, I mean the number one driving factor of why I also believe that Tua is not a guy that could take us to the promised land, is because our own organization doesn't believe it. It's hard to really argue with that. Our own organization doesn't believe that he can take us to the promised land. And I find it funny that I get criticized more than the organization about my belief when I believe the same thing as the organization. Brian Flores, Chris Grier, Stephen Ross has done nothing but show everyone that they do not believe in Tua Tagovailoa's long-term projection. They could even be wrong. They could even be wrong, but they don't believe in him. Just finished watching Brian Flores' press conference, and he said a lot of things in there. He said, I think Tua's doing good. I think Tua has really improved. He says all those things, and he's not wrong about it. But what he continues to answer is, what does he think about Tua's long-term projection? And basically his answer is, I'm excited to see his continued improvement, and he doesn't need to worry about all of the noise. He just needs to focus on getting better. And then he says there's certainly things he needs to improve, just like all of us. But the one thing that Brian Flores just said, because we're getting a lot of good cop, bad cop here. Grier's the bad cop. Ross is the bad cop. But Flores actually likes Tua. That's what a lot of people are thinking now. But Flores said one thing that was very interesting to me. He said, and we have more time. I want y'all to go back and watch his press conference. And he said about Tua Tagovailoa's progression, and now we have more time. He said, and now we have more time. And I want y'all to think, what in the heck does that mean? And now we have more time. You know, I'm excited about, his improvement, and now we have more time. What do y'all think that means? So don't start this trying to paint Brian Flores as the good guy when I told y'all that it was already a good cop, bad cop situation, and this whole entire organization wanted Watson, including Flores. And now we have more time. He basically is saying Tua was on his way up out of here, but you know what? With everything that happened, now we got more time. That's what it means. In this organization, they can try to clean this up as much as they want, but they can't. The point has been proven, ladies and gentlemen, that the Miami Dolphins don't believe in Tua Tagovailoa. They can come out on TV all they want and say, I like what Tua's doing. I feel he's making great improvements, and I like Tua. None of those are false statements that they're telling y'all. None of those are false statements. We love where Tua's projections is heading. Yeah, I bet you do. Enough to go meet with Deshaun Watson the night before the trade deadline. Enough to be pursuing this man for 7 months. Let's scoot over just for a little and get over to Chris Grier's press conference. You love Tua enough, and Grier didn't lie in this regard. He said, well, when you got a top player at a position, you got to do your due diligence. But here's where I got a problem with Chris Grier. He wants to turn this into doing your due diligence versus you were in an all-out assault for Deshaun Watson. He wants to soften the blow by giving us words, doing our due diligence, and we do that with every player that's a top 10 player. You can't fool the fan base. Now, you may be able to fool a select amount of people who that's what they wanted to hear because it makes them feel better, but you can't fool the fan base. You can't turn this into we were only doing our due diligence. And that's why at the end of the day, we didn't make a trade. No, you didn't make a trade because the parameters couldn't get done. And we're going to talk about that heavily in a moment because, ladies and gentlemen, Miami Dolphin fans, you need to calm down about Stephen Ross. And I'm going to tell you why. The man did us a favor. And we're going to talk about that next after I finish with this small segment on Chris Grier. Chris Grier cannot fool anyone. Because now Chris Grier finds himself, Chris Grier had the nerve to say, well, I mean, y'all weren't going to believe me anyway. Why did I need to come out of here every week and tell you the rumors were false? First of all, you didn't confirm that they were false anyway today. You came out and threw a number out of the sky by saying 90% of the things you heard was false. First of all, how do you even know about the 90% of the things that were being said? When y'all automatically preach all day, every day, we don't listen to that stuff that's out there. We don't even hear that stuff. We don't even pay attention to it. But you could come out and give a number that 90% of the stuff was false. Like you got somebody saying, Grier, they said this today. Hey, Grier, they said that today. Hey, Grier, they said this today. No, you've been monitoring the media because you wanted to know how good or bad you looked in this situation. You were monitoring the media because you wanted to know how good or bad you looked in this situation. And to come out and say 90% of the information was false is a lie. You know why? The only information that mattered to everybody. Are you trying to get Deshaun Watson? It was the one answer everybody just wanted to hear the organization confirm or deny. All the minutia of a deal and they might be doing this and this might be the compensation. None of that was even, it didn't even matter. The only thing people wanted to confirm or deny, they didn't care about the parameters. All of that'll be figured out later. The only thing people cared about was one question. Were you pursuing Deshaun Watson? And you're going to come out and say 90% of the rumors were false. I guess the biggest thing that everybody wanted to know, you're factoring as 10%. See, you can't fool people with these fake words, these deflections. Even the biggest fan of, even the people who hate the Dolphins but love Tua can admit at this point, the Miami Dolphins were in an all-out assault for Deshaun Watson. And the nail in the coffin where they couldn't hide that, because they would always be able to hide behind the cloak of, long as we don't confirm or deny, we could always come back later and say, oh, most of that crap was rumors. But the nail in the coffin was the release of the lawyer of the 22 accusers last night. That was the nail in the coffin that the Miami Dolphins could never come back for them and twist anything that would confirm to even the most loyal deniers that the Miami Dolphins had a full court press on Deshaun Watson. That was the bombshell that nobody could deny. Nobody. But I need to read that email. I mean, that message. I need to read what the accuser's lawyer said, because I really think that it is so unfair that many in this fan base, and I truly believe it's really led by the people who are mad that we are considering trading Tua. I think that is those people that are starting this crap. But it is so wrong to come at Stephen Ross for speaking to Deshaun Watson and telling him what needed to be done in order for a trade to happen. And then these people having the nerve to say Stephen Ross is impeding an investigation. This is ignorance at a whole new level. They should charge Stephen Ross for impeding an investigation. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? So let's break this whole situation down. And first and foremost, I need people to understand why an owner would meet with a player in the first place. The owner, he was supposed to meet with Deshaun Watson. He would have been an idiot had he not met with Deshaun Watson. Why not? Let's talk about it. You meet with Deshaun Watson because you're about to potentially commit to giving him over $100 million. That's number one. You want to hear his voice yourself. You want to ask him directly, what in the hell is going on with these cases? What did you do? What happened? You want to hear the truth or the lie in his voice as an owner. Talk to me. Tell me. You had, man, I heard somebody say it the other day and they were right. Stephen Ross was sold on Watson at hello the first time he saw him throw a ball on the football field. I think we all would be. But you're about to get $100 million, and I'm about to give up draft capital that we cannot get back that's grand. I want to hear your voice. I want to speak to you. Man to man, I want to know what happened with these women. Because it makes no sense to me. Who are you? What kind of guy are you? That's number one, why he met with him. Number two, you're communicating with somebody that you're considering, and you're telling him, even if we decide to make the decision to bring you in, we can't do it unless we have certain assurances. First of all, I need to know who you are. And second off, if we are going to bring you in, which I still haven't 100% signed off right now, because this is the first time I'm getting to talk to you, which we're going to talk about that too. Why is this the first time he was allowed to talk to him? If Houston was down for it, we're going to talk about that. But what is wrong with Stephen Ross saying, I would like for you to clear up your your civil cases? Because if I am going to trade for you, I need to know that I am going to be getting someone who doesn't have all the civil cases pending. Now, the criminal cases, we already know that may not be handled right away. Not unless, these women on the civil side sign non-disclosure agreements and they drop those cases. But that's what it would take for me to sign you. So what is wrong with your owner saying, I want you to be in the clear before I sign you? God dog. What is wrong with the owner saying, I want you to be in the clear before I pull this trigger? Can you get that done? If you're innocent, can you clear yourself before next Tuesday so we can get this done? Now, here's the funny part. That happened on Monday night. How did Deshaun Watson know? Let's see, watch this. Ooh, I'm about to break it down for y'all. See, they lying to you. It's some lies out here. And you know what? I wasn't going to, I don't know how to word this. I wasn't going to go in a certain place with this, but I don't care. Oh my gosh, I don't want to, because it's not good that I do. But I'll say this. There's some funny stuff going on here. And there's certain words I guess I won't use, but there's some funny stuff going on here, and I'm about to break it down. First of all, according to the lawyer, they were working hard to settle the cases for quite some days. If Ross didn't talk to him until Monday night, then how did he know to hurry up and start working the cases? I'm going to leave that right there on the side of the table. You pick it up if you want. That's all I'm going to say about that. Let me get on to another subject. Okay? Let me get on to another point. Okay? So, yeah, I'm gonna be careful what I say for reasons that y'all may not know about, but I'll be careful what I say. Gosh, I gotta leave that alone, and I hate it. All right, let me keep going. So, what is wrong with Stephen Ross saying, clear those up and I may trade for you? Isn't that the goal anyway? But somehow they started a campaign online as if Ross is a criminal. Ross is actually, impeding a investigation. It amazes me. It absolutely makes no sense. It absolutely makes no sense. None whatsoever. And I can't believe people have gone that far because they're mad at Ross, because basically he's confirming the Miami Dolphins are all out for Deshaun Watson. Because that's what it was. Now, he goes and he asks Watson to do this. Now, let's read what the lawyer says. Let's read what the lawyer of the accused said, okay? Miami or Houston or whoever he goes, it doesn't change our case. It doesn't change our case. Bottom line was, apparently at some point, the Dolphins wanted 22 settlements. Again, nothing's wrong with that. Watson, we want you, but we want 22 settlements. Settle them all and we'll get you. The lawyer said, I made it clear after talking to my clients, which means he brought it to his clients. Hey, they want to settle. That wasn't going to happen. And then they lowered that number. I made that clear that wasn't going to happen. Watson's team, wait. Now, keywords, they lowered that number. They lowered that number. Who lowered the number? Who lowered the number? What they're lying to you all and saying, they're lying to y'all and trying to tell y'all that the Miami Dolphins asked Watson, well, if you can't get 22, can you get 11 to settle? That's a lie. The Miami Dolphins didn't say that. The Miami Dolphins simply said, settle the 22 civil cases. They knew they couldn't deal with the criminal. It was what it was. But settle the 22 civil. Okay? Then the lawyer goes on to say, Watson's team was trying to sell the Dolphins on some lower number, and I think that never came to pass. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Even the lawyer is saying that Watson's team was trying to sell the Dolphins on a lower number. In other words, the Dolphins said, Watson, settle your 22 and we're going to bring you here. Watson tried to settle his 22. The lawyer said that's not going to happen. Then Watson said, well, can we settle half of them, the women that do want to? Because they were like, maybe we can come back to the Dolphins and say we at least got 11 done. That's what really happened. They are taking the words out of context to try to paint Ross as a demon because they're mad that he was pursuing Deshaun Watson when the truth is they knew he was the whole time. They just didn't like it. You know why they didn't like it? Because the only argument that most people had out here to begin with is whether or not the Dolphins are truly pursuing Deshaun Watson. All the quote unquote Watsoneers or Tuaneers, the Tuaneers say, man, you're a hater. They're not even pursuing him. They're not even pursuing him. They're not even pursuing him. Y'all making this stuff up. Y'all believe what you want. You just hating on Tua. That's what the real argument was. Were they trying to pursue Deshaun Watson? All the other little arguments were the small little gripes about it. Tua's no good. Tua is good. No, the real argument of all of this was the Dolphins trying to pursue Deshaun Watson because they knew if he was, that said something about Tua. They knew, and they didn't want to admit that. That is the only thing these people don't want to admit, even to this day. The Dolphins were trying to pursue Watson. And now after this came out from the lawyer, this was the nail in the coffin that they're mad about, and they're trying to clean up. And you know how they're trying to clean it up? By demonizing Stephen Ross for for getting on the phone with him and telling him clear his cases. Ross is an idiot. I can't believe Ross would do this. What is going on in that organization? The nerve of him to even want to. I've been telling y'all this all this time. Y'all got mad at me for telling the truth. I've been telling y'all what they've been doing all this time. And now all of a sudden it's an issue? Now, since I was right, and I ain't even trying to be right, I'm just telling you what they were doing. This ain't about, y'all think this is a moral thing. It's not. And I'm going to talk about that last. Morals. Let me write that down. Morals. That's the biggest thing I got to talk about last. Morals. Morals. Because it's funny to me how we throw that word out all the time. Morals. All right? Let's keep going. What about the non-disclosure agreement your clients were asked to sign? I don't know. Let me read this. I don't know if it came from Watson or if it came from the Dolphins. Y'all hear that? I don't know if it came from Watson or it came from the Dolphins. The lawyer don't even know which one it came from about the non-disclosure agreement situation. He don't even know where it came from. Nobody knows where it came from, not even a lawyer. The point of, and we want non-disclosure agreements. He don't know where it came from. But we want to pin that on Ross. But I am willing to concede to that one and say, let's say Ross did say, and I want non-disclosure agreements signed by every single one of them. How dare Ross ask them to be silent? Ain't nobody asking them nothing but to make a decision. Ross is doing his due diligence to protect you, the fans. He is telling you, I want all 22 settled. And even if he did say, I want them to sign non-disclosure agreements as well, that's what you're supposed to do. Because once those are signed, we don't have to worry about them testifying in court. We don't have to worry about them coming back later and defaming the organization and all of those things. It's done deal. He after the NFL comes down with judgment, we're playing. He's playing football, and there's no more worried about it. He's protecting you, the fans. He's making sure that the player that comes in has zero concern after we bring him in, other than a league suspension and whatever that is, they were already prepared for it. Ross ain't protecting us. He's protecting his pockets. He has a right to do that too. But as a result of protecting his pockets, he's protecting us. That's a fact. Let's keep going. I don't know where it came from, but there was an insistence of a very, very robust non-disclosure agreement, and we pushed back on that very hard. For some of the women, that was the deal breaker. On other women, it was the compensation. So some women said, no, I want this to be out. I want to be able to talk about it. I want to be able to write a book about it. I want to be able to do interviews about it. I want to be able to, share my experience, whether it be for money, whether it be for publicity, whether it be to help other women that are fighting this situation, whatever the reason is. But other women said, that's the incentive. Yeah, I definitely would settle if we could do a non-disclosure. I'm with the robust one. I don't want nobody to know about what I did anyway. So the truth is, he could have actually have gotten some of them done. Because even the lawyer says some of them, it was the deal breaker. Others, it was the incentive. He could have actually gotten the deal done with the large amount of these women, I'm sure. He could have. So let's keep going. Everyone was different, but there was some instances on a non-disclosure agreement. I don't care if he gets traded or not. It's really not my thing. Obviously, there was a lot of effort in their part to get the case settled so that he could be traded, apparently. Watson basically said, man, I'm actually about to get to go to Miami. And this is where I feel like Miami had already agreed. Yeah, we're going to bring. See, for Houston to say, okay, now you could talk to him. An agreement was reached. Let's get that straight. An agreement was reached in principle, but we just needed one more interview. Let me talk to him, tell him what we need. The agreement was reached. You talk to him once the agreement is there. So they talked to Watson. And the lawyer said they were pushing real hard to do these because Watson saw the light at the end of the tunnel, man. Let's do this. I want to be in Miami. Let me go to Miami. He really wants Miami, y'all. But here's where the issue starts with this message. This is the issue that the Miami Dolphins have long term now. Let's break this down. Obviously, there was a lot of effort on their part to get the case settled, so there could be a trade, apparently. I'm assuming at some point that will come out again. The lawyer's saying basically they're going to try to do this again, and probably in the offseason is what he's talking about. They're going to push hard to try to settle this again. And by Watson pushing hard to settle it now, at first he was like, no, I'm going to fight for my innocence. But now he's like, man, I'm going to push hard to settle it because I can get to go to Miami. Who has all the leverage now? Put it in the comment section, ladies and gentlemen. Who has all the leverage now in his civil cases? The lawyer of the 22 accusers has all the leverage now because he tried to settle. He might have been able to get some done, but he's not in a rush. And now the lawyer's saying they'll revisit it, I'm sure. Because the lawyer knows about the deadlines. March is the free agency. They're not going to, they're really going to want to settle. Because what's going to happen is in March, even if they will allow him to settle, they're going to up the price. Because now Houston has to hurry up and make a move before the season starts because they don't want to carry that money. Houston has to hurry up and make a move. And Watson wants to get to Miami. Now the price of settlement goes up. Now they're going to play with it. This is what lawyers do. This is perfect for that lawyer now. Oh, we got some deadlines. Time is on our side. The criminal system works very slow. We're good now. He's definitely in a good place now with his clients. Clients, just sit back, relax, don't say nothing. We good. I probably just doubled what I thought that I could get for you all from a civil standpoint. It's the truth. So let's keep going. The lawyer said, time is on my side. He said these exact words. Time is on my side. I'm just going to continue to pursue the case, continue to do my due diligence on the case, and start preparing the case for hopefully a trial. The next significant event, I believe, will be February when we have the opportunity to take Mr. Watson's deposition. He's sitting back, legs crossed now saying, time is on my side. They're the ones that's going to be rushing to try to do something with us. And we're going to keep on threatening, hey, we're going to trial. We're going to trial. We're going to put this in the hearts of a jury. We're going to try to put this on the heartstrings of a jury. We're going to let them decide. And if you lose, we're taking everything. We're taking you for the cleaners. Unless you come with a real hefty settlement offer, time is definitely on their side now. Now, the reason why that's important for y'all to understand is that before this lawyer put this out, there was no question in my mind that Watson is still going to be a Dolphin in the summer. But having the lawyer put this out, I need y'all to understand something. There is even a more slimmer chance now that Watson's going to end up in Miami. The chance Watson ends up in Miami is even smaller now. Not unless the criminal charges from the grand jury come out and says he officially will not be charged criminally. He officially will not be charged criminally. But that could sit over there for a long time. They don't even have to rush on those. They don't even have to rush on the criminal charges. The reality is the only thing that helps Watson is if the criminal side openly says, we will not be bringing any formal charges to Deshaun Watson. It could happen. At some point, they're going to have to convene a grand jury and make that decision officially. But we don't know when that's going to be. We don't know when that's going to be. And Watson could settle the civil cases anytime he wants, but at what price? What if all 22 are asking for $2 million each, $40 million? Give it to me, Watson. He's not going to do that. You know what a lawyer's job is. Start high and negotiate down and flex your muscles and get a court date set. The court sends you a notice that says, I recommend mediation. You go to a mediator. The mediator's sitting there saying, I recommend this amount. And both sides agree or they say no. And they go to a trial. But that could also take longer. If the deposition is in February, you may not have a mediation until July or August. You may not have a mediation until several months after that. And based off of the mediation, you get proposals and recommendations from the mediator negotiating it for you. But it's both of them still have to agree. All I'm saying is this, what people need to understand. The only thing that makes this situation right now better for Watson is if the grand jury convenes and they say they will not be bringing any charges to Deshaun Watson. Then it's open floodgates because nobody cares about the civil. Nobody cares about the civil. The only thing they care about is the criminal. The civil ain't nothing but money. The criminal is the real deal. And that's why I'm kind of confused of why Ross would even go with the criminal hanging out there if he settled the civil. But I think that's because he also required the non-disclosures, which mean they wouldn't have been able to cooperate in a criminal investigation, and not being able to cooperate in that criminal investigation due to the non-disclosure would have wiped those out anyway. It would have wiped those out anyway. But again, nobody care about the civil cases. Now, I need to shift gears real quick because somebody said this in the comment section, and I'm glad they did because they helped me shift gears. They said people care about the civil too. Trust me. Nobody cares what people care about. See, y'all living in this fake world thinking that people matter when it comes to business. That's a lie they told y'all, and they do everything they can to make you believe it. They do everything they can to make you believe that they care about what you truly think. They only care about what's going to affect the top dollar. If what you think is not going to affect the top dollar, they can care less about what people think. Let's have a conversation in the real world for a second, ladies and gentlemen. Let's have a conversation in the real world. Not this fabricated feelings world that people are led to believe rules everything. Well, it does matter now, TD. That's why they cancel people and they take their endorsements and they do all of that. They only do that because the money matters. Let me tell you something. If Deshaun Watson was a Dolphin tomorrow, this team ain't losing fans like y'all think. Matter of fact, this team gains more fans. 50% of the Houston Texans fans, the Watsoneers, are now Dolphins. They'll gain fans. All the people, I wouldn't support this team anymore. Half of them lying, and the other half are going to be replaced tenfold. I know y'all don't like to hear that what you feel doesn't really matter when the money is opposite of what you feel. You can respectfully disagree, but that's why you've been mad. That's why you're upset with the organization, because you respectfully disagree. That's why you're mad at the organization, because you respectfully disagree. All y'all out here mad that the Dolphins even had the nerve to pursue Watson, but you're still here talking about it. You know why? Because you're still a Dolphins fan. You see how that works? You're outraged that this team had the nerve to even pursue him in the first place, but you're here arguing about it because you're still a Dolphin fan. So how were they affected again? And if they would have traded for Watson yesterday, some of y'all same people would have been here. I can't believe they did this. This organization is going to burn. You here telling us that means you still care. You don't have to believe that money talks. If we get Watson, you think they're going to lose revenue? The Watsonites and Watsoneers, whatever you want to call them from Houston, are going to invade the Miami fan base. And they're going to replace the fans that this fan base lose tenfold. Tenfold. I like Ryan Tannehill. I'm a fan of Ryan Tannehill. I watch Tannehill's games because I want to see him succeed in the NFL. Just like if Tua got traded, a lot of y'all would like to see him succeed in the NFL. I still watch him in Tennessee. You think millions ain't going to watch him in Miami? And that's why I'm telling y'all, all these outrage fans threatening they'll be outraged, half of them are lying. No, they would be outraged, but they still be a Dolphin fan, still supporting the team. Well, I don't support them, but you just watch them Sunday. And the other half who's strong enough to say, that's it, and they cut their TVs off, unsubscribe to the fan base and do all of that, it doesn't matter. They're replaced tenfold. It's more revenue. Matter of fact, ain't many people buying Tua jerseys anymore. Now we got a whole slew of Watson jerseys being sold. So for the record, the team don't care about how you feel. They only care about if how you feel is going to affect the dollar. And in this situation, sorry, ladies and gentlemen, this move would have made them more money than they ever could have made with Tua. They've already made their Tua money. Let's get that straight now. They've already made their Tua money. He was the number one jersey sales when he first got drafted. They've made their Tua money. Yeah, they would have kept getting constant money as time goes if he played great and we were winning, but they've made a bulk of their Tua money already. And that leads me to morals. Anybody with morals. Once again, this is an adult conversation and we're putting our feelings to the side. Y'all got to stop crying morals. We live in a world where morals don't exist as much as y'all try to make them seem. I understand that morals are important. I try to live by them. But we also can't be naive. We also can't be blind to the fact that morals are not as prevalent in today's world as people want to make them seem to be. It's not. I wish we all lived in a world with morals, but the problem is the reason why morals are becoming less and less prevalent in today's society is because those who don't operate with morals are stomping all over the people who do. The people who are just blind to that are the ones being stomped on in today's society, and they're learning and they're starting to have less morals themselves. It's a situation that's happening in society that you need to pay attention to. You can hold on to them. It's good you're holding on to them, because holding on to them keeps you making great decisions. Having great morals allow you to make great decisions. And with that being said, in today's society, a lot of people aren't making great decisions. And why am I talking about morals? Because everybody wants to throw the word morals out when somebody says, I think the Dolphins should get Watson. Where are your morals? That's why I'm talking about it, AB. Because every time somebody says, I think we should get Watson, where are your morals? Where are your morals? And let me tell y'all something about morals and double standard. I woke up this morning and I went on Twitter and I posed the question. I went on Twitter and I posed the question this morning. And it was interesting, the response that I had. This was my question. I said, random question. If a married man has a female boss who aggressively pursues him sexually, he engages out of fear of ruining his career, is it okay for his wife to divorce him? 80% of the people said yes, it's okay for his wife to divorce him. And people were putting it in the comment section why. And I'm not debating that. 80% of the people basically said yes, it's okay to divorce him. 80% of the people basically said it's okay to hold the victim accountable. 80% of the people said that it was okay to hold the victim accountable. And T. Rich just said in the comment section, he had a choice. So I said, what if the roles were reversed and it was a woman who was in that situation who also had a choice? And these people are saying, yes, she has accountability too. You don't have to do nothing you don't want to. And when you say no, you don't want to, and you try to leave out, if they forcefully, then it's rape. And I said, then what are we arguing about with this Deshaun Watson situation? He made a sexual advancement. These women did an act. Some came back, by the way. And most of these police reports are saying, I felt pressure to do it out of fear of my reputation and my job or my business. And I said, this doesn't condone what Watson did. He put himself in this situation. And I personally, which I shouldn't judge anyone, but it was real stupid of him to do. It was real stupid of him to do. It was real stupid of him to do. But all I'm saying is, it was interesting to me, the double standard that I got in that poll this morning, that all these people killing Watson, but yet if the shoes were on the other feet, the man had a choice. And I don't say that to prove a point of Watson's innocence. I don't know what he is. He could be a rapist for all I know. We're going to find out at the end of the day. But I only say this to make the point. This is why some people don't take sides on Watson or the women. They let it play out, and you're innocent until proven guilty. Innocent until proven guilty. It absolutely makes no sense why people argue because some fans want Watson. We're morally corrupt for wanting him. We're morally corrupt for wanting somebody who hasn't been convicted of a crime. They could come out tomorrow and say, we will be charging Deshaun Watson with assault or whatever. And my first answer to that is, please don't bring that man to Miami. That's too much. He's actually been charged, which means that the legal system finds him to have had some wrongdoing. He'll still have his day in court. But until that's fixed, definitely don't bring him to Miami. But I'm sorry, TD doesn't live off of the basis of allegations. I live off of official charges being filed. Official charges being filed. TD, why did the Raiders cut Ruggs then? Because he was officially charged. As soon as the report came out, Henry Ruggs has been officially charged. 3 minutes later, Raiders issue a statement. They have released Henry Ruggs. As soon as he was officially charged, they didn't release him after they heard about what happened. They came out with a statement and said they feel bad for the victims. This is a terrible loss, and we're investigating the situation. We don't have any further comment at this time, as they should. And until they came out, the Ruggs has been officially charged. 3 minutes later, the Raiders have officially released Ruggs. That's how it's supposed to work. That's how it's supposed to work. That's how it's supposed to work. And Carlos Rubio, do me a favor. Go to school, bro. Go get more than a third grade education. Please do that for me. And I'm gonna block you. I'm blocking you right now. And do me a favor. When you when you go get that education, DM me on Instagram and let me see your diploma. Then I'll unblock you. But you can't speak anymore over here. Don't you ever mention my mama. Don't you ever mention my mama. And don't tell me what my mama would say or think. You don't know what anybody mama would say or think. My mama could be the main one up here that says, you know what? Your body doesn't get compromised for nobody and nothing. No money nor anything. I don't care if somebody make an advancement of you, you walk out. I don't care if you feel like your job is on the line, you walk out. That's what my mama would say. I don't care if everything you work for your whole life you built could be at stake. You don't go for any of that mess. You walk out. That's what my mama would say. So don't talk to me about my mama. People around here want to sit here and act like, oh, where are your morals? Your mother would be ashamed of you. Shut up. You don't know my mama. My mama could get up here right now and say them women should have walked out. Shame on them. And shame on him for even doing what he did too. My mama will tell you straight out. He need Jesus. That's what my mama would have said. He need Jesus. And shame on those women. Do better. Have some dignity for yourself. Scared about your career. Scared about your job. Scared about your business. Have bigger morals than that. My mama would have held him and them women accountable, as all of us should be doing. But for some reason, we only want to hold one side accountable. My mama would have said all of them need to be in church. Him and them. They around here rubbing men's bodies, and then they making advancements, and then they coming back for, some of them coming back for more. First of all, you shouldn't have been on a plane anyway going to do it. My mama would have went in on both of them. And this nut need, and she would have said about Deshaun Watson, this nut need Jesus. This crazy man need Jesus. So don't try me like that. Don't try me like that. See, y'all don't like to hear that. Y'all don't like to hear the real, raw, and authentic. Y'all want to come out here and throw words out there like it to try to make somebody look bad. Like it meant, what would your mama think? She'd be ashamed of you. Shut up. Most of these elder women that know better than all of us would tell you a thing or two about that man and them women. They would have held everybody accountable. What about your daughters, TD? I raised my daughter to what my mama would have told me, would have told her. Don't you ever put yourself in that situation. If you are in that situation and you didn't see it coming, you leave it right away. Somebody make an advancement, you leave it right away. You don't sit there out of fear of your business that you built your whole life. You worth more than that business. Your innocence is worth more than that business. And yeah, I'm saying that because there's accountability on both sides, but we don't want to have that real conversation. We don't want to have that real conversation. We just want to demonize the man and act like we shouldn't be holding our sisters also to a higher standard. Let's get real over here. For 1 second, let's get real. Ain't nobody did nothing right in this whole situation. You don't think some of them, yeah, I truly do believe, and that's the funny thing. Yeah, TD, but 22 women, bro, you can't deny that. And the same thing goes with 22 women and none of them walked out. None of them. I digress. They all need Jesus. How about that? Hit that like button if you believe they all need Jesus. Real talk. Real talk. Because it was funny on Twitter that 80% of the vote said the man should have some accountability in this. He didn't have to do it. He could have left. He didn't have to mess with his boss. He could have left. 80% of the people on Twitter voted and said, yes, that man has accountability. Ain't nobody force him to do nothing. But we're not allowed to have that double standard the other way. We're not allowed to have that double standard. People, Finsanity text me, bring back TD Real Talk. They ain't ready for that, Finsanity. And you know the sad thing about it? If I am to, see, we don't want to be judgmental people. But to be honest, all of us have a little bit of it in us. And I admit that. You know, all of us have a little bit of judgmental, traits in us. We're going to make a decision and believe what we want to believe. Me personally, I don't think all these women are lying. I don't. But I don't think all of them are telling the truth. That's the crazy part about this. And the ones that aren't lying, the real question is it a crime? What happened? A man makes a sexual advancement. In your mind, you feel uncomfortable, but you go along with it. You leave. He thinking, hey, it's consensual. We were all good. I came for her. She was all with it. We did what we did. She left. And then civil lawsuit. Dang, I thought we were good. I thought it was all good. I thought it was all good. Man. A lot of that is happening in this case. Anywho, but that was my spiel on morals, because a lot of people have been saying that crap to me in Twitter and everywhere. Where are your morals? What would your mother say? What would you tell your daughter? What would you say to your sister? And I've already talked to my sister about this just to get her thoughts. And it's sad. The responses I got from women, other women would beat up on them and say, how dare you victimize? Women hate each other. That's what they run to. I can't believe these women are hating each other. But most women, like a lot of women in this situation, are like, I don't care nothing about that situation. At the end of the day, did he hold them down? Were they trying to leave and he blocked their exit and he held them down or nothing like that? Because that's the problem. That's what some of these women are telling me. These ain't my words. This is what some women have said. This man made an advancement. This is 2021. People make advancements all the time and they have passionate, just crazy, spontaneous things happen and they love it and they enjoy it together, blah, blah, blah. And now you got to wonder, oh, well, she's enjoying it. She's with it, but no. And it's real talk. And that's why my mama would say they all need Jesus. Because if they had Jesus, they wouldn't be living this kind of life in the first place. If they had Jesus, Watson would have been at home with his girlfriend. If they had Jesus, these girls would have been probing, making sure that they were carrying themselves the right way to begin with. If they had Jesus, they won't let him get fully naked and put an itty bitty towel on. They'll say, no, in order for me to massage you, I need you to actually have this and that on. Well, I don't like this and that. Well, unfortunately, I can't do it. That simple. It's that simple, ladies and gentlemen. But anywho, let's go on to the last part of this stream. What do the Dolphins do going forward? What do they do going forward? And somebody said Tua has Jesus. You're right. That's why he ain't in this situation. And that's the thing that you love about the young man. That's what you love about the young man. He's not going to, I'm not going to say he's not going to, but it's highly unlikely he's going to put his organization in this situation. That's what you love about him. But let's be honest. Not saying Watson been around here talking about his faith, but Watson had one of the cleanest reputations in the NFL until that information broke. Am I wrong? He's had one of the cleanest reputations in the NFL until that happened. So that's why you never know what people do behind closed doors, what fetishes, what addictions, what all of that they have. You don't know. You don't know. Now, the Miami Dolphins find themselves in the issue where if a grand jury comes out and say, we're not charging Watson with any criminal crime, listen, the bidding price is going to go up. Everybody's going to be after him. 10 teams are going to try to get Watson. It's going to be a free-for-all because, once again, whether y'all like it or not, no one cares about the civil. The civil doesn't make you miss time on the field other than what Roger Goodell is going to do, but he's going to do that civilly or criminally. Nobody cares about that. Everybody already knows that's a matter. Matter of fact, if there were no criminal charges filed at all and it was still just all civil, he would have already been traded. I promise y'all. So now, if Watson doesn't get cleared criminally by, let me say, next November, it's a wrap. It's a wrap. And I said next November, and I'll elaborate in a moment. But now the Miami Dolphins have a situation where they've said that they don't believe in Tua Tagovailoa without saying it, right? I think everybody can agree with that. They don't believe in Tua Tagovailoa. He's a good kid. He's improving, certainly things he can improve on. And the Dolphins say, but we have more time now. We got 9 more games to get to see him grow. Yeah, we do have 9 more games. And within those 9 games of Tua growing, I want to go best case scenario. Tua balls out and he goes 10-0, 9-0, excuse me. And we end the season 10-7, right? Right. And he actually balls out and he reads defenses. He does everything so beautifully well, and it's amazing, right? Would you want to trade Tua at that point? Yes or no in the comment section. My vote is no. I mean, at the end of the day, all I'm ever asking Tua to do is prove me wrong. That's it. You prove me wrong, and I have a different opinion because I have different data to back up my opinion. But would you want to trade Tua if he goes 9-0? I wouldn't trade Tua if he goes 9-0. I wouldn't trade Tua if he goes 8-1. I wouldn't trade Tua if he goes 7. Well, not 8-1. Yeah, 8-1. I wouldn't trade Tua if he goes 7-2. And I wouldn't trade him if we go 6-3. I'm gonna even go that far. Okay. Yes, sir. Mommy will fix it for you, okay? 6-3 is my cutoff, right? But I want to stop right here because he could go 6-3. Looking at our opponents, they're not slouches, but all of these games, if our defense play like they did against Buffalo, we're supposed to win more games, right? If our defense can carry us in 5 of those 6 games, that all he needs to do. But 6-3 is about my cutoff, right? To where I think you can keep going with him and invest in him. But here's the issue. Here's what Dolphin fans need to come to the realization of. Let's go back to best case scenario. Tua goes 9-0. Do y'all really believe Tua ain't going to either ask for a trade or finish his rookie campaign and say he's not signing a new contract? At this point, do y'all truly believe that Tua, and I don't know, this is just speculative, but can you rule it out that Tua is not going to ask for a trade in the offseason or finish his rookie campaign if he's playing well, and once free agency comes and they're trying to get a new deal to re-up on him, he says, no, I don't want to sign a deal? Y'all don't think that's possible? You don't think that's a true thing that the Miami Dolphins should be concerned about? I don't think he will ask for a trade. You don't think he'll ask for a trade? If Tua balls out and he has the leverage, he's just going to continue on with the Miami Dolphins, knowing that if any slip up, any issues, they're going to be out on him again. Any elite quarterback come up again, they're going to be out on him. And y'all notice something? The sad part of all of this is I'm doing best case scenario. He balls out, read defenses, going deep all the time, just like Herberting it up, Joe Burrowing it up, Lamaring it up, Murraying it up, Mahoming it up, Prescotting it up. Like, just, man, just playing. I'm giving y'all best case scenario, and even the biggest Tua fans are like, I mean, I don't think that's going to happen, but I think he can be a good quarterback. Because no matter how he does this year, people are still going to be questioning how good he is. Everybody's still going to know that we're playing a few bums for the rest of the season. and they're always going to point to the great teams. They're always going to point to the games where he played great teams. Go get mommy for me. They're always going to point to how he looks when we play great teams. Even if the teams around him is trash. This is what's interesting to me. Everybody want to bring up, but everything around this man is trash. For the record, ladies and gentlemen, there ain't no perfect situation in the NFL. There ain't no perfect situation in the NFL. I'm curious, what's going on with Patrick Mahomes and what's going on with Patrick Mahomes right now? And they should have lost the other night versus the Giants. You see how they struggle? He struggled with the Giants. He didn't look good in that game either. But what's going on with Patrick Mahomes? Is it his O-line? Is it his receivers? The play calling? The defense? I'm not sure. I don't know. I mean, y'all know better than me. I don't actually I'm not saying that to be facetious. I'm legitimately don't know. And I keep asking people for that answer and nobody could give it to me. All they could say is, but he won a Super Bowl. That's all they tell me. That's all they could tell me. Chiefs O-line and coaching sucks. Well, first off, let's start with the coaching. Now the coaching sucks, but when they won a Super Bowl, it was great. Is that what we're really saying here? So now it sucks, but it was Super Bowl worthy with some of the same core coaches. Same guy at the top, right? And y'all saying the O-line now. Wow. The O-line. So now they got a trash O-line. I'm going to continue to say this. And this is one of the biggest contention pieces with people and me that they get mad at me about. And this is one of the main. Oh, y'all give me a second. Oh. Oh, my bad. My wife was locked out of the patio. My son locked her out. Appreciate y'all patience. But I'm about to say something that I keep telling y'all. And people get mad at me and they say, you don't know football, making that statement. You're proving you don't know football. Here is my criteria in the NFL. I am one of the most critical people I know when it comes to quarterbacks. That's just me. That's my nature. You know, I wasn't critical of Tannehill. I know that. I learned my lesson. I learned my lesson from Ryan Tannehill, and he made me become a critical person of quarterbacks because I've been studying this for years now, and I have a theory, and my theory has been proven true the entire time. The change in quarterbacks, the shifts, all of that. Some of these quote-unquote elite quarterbacks are not as good as y'all think. They just came into a perfect situation. They just inherited a perfect situation. Now, it doesn't mean that they're not elite. But you can't judge how great they are until their situation is no longer perfect, how they look as a quarterback. I'm not talking about team success, but how they look as a quarterback when they don't have a perfect situation. Are they still making plays? Are they still, balling out per se? And if a quarterback comes into the NFL in a perfect situation, great weapons, great O-line, great defense, and they win tons of games and they put up a whole bunch of yards, all that does to me is prove that they know how to play football. It does not prove that they are elite or in an elite category. You are not elite unless you have performed on an elite level for a minimum of 3 years, in my opinion, consistently. Not only that, when you're not in a perfect situation, are you still making plays? Are you still getting the job done on the offensive side of the ball? I know quarterbacks can't control the defense. I know quarterbacks don't give up points to the other team unless it's a pick six. But I get y'all point that y'all argue that to me. I get that. But I always argue with y'all and tell y'all wins and losses are not a quarterback stat. Now, can anybody name to me a quarterback who's been in a bad situation that still balled out and put up numbers in the NFL right now? A quarterback who's been in a bad situation and still balled out and put up numbers. And the sad thing is there's only 2 that comes to mind to me in the entire NFL. Only 2. I'll give it 3. I'll give it 3. Maybe 4. Yeah, we all know Deshaun Watson. This isn't even making a point of Deshaun Watson right now. This isn't even a Deshaun Watson point right now. We know he's one of those guys. But anybody think about Matthew Stafford? Trash situation, but always put up the numbers. Always balled out. I'm going to ask y'all a question. Y'all might argue with me. EM's going to love this because I used to argue with him the reverse, but I've changed course. Oh, I can't believe I'm giving him a concession here. What about Derek Carr? What about Derek Carr? The teams that he's had, but he has consistently put up really good numbers. What about him? I'm talking about guys whose offense was always balling, but the defense was trash. Or, they just still got it done. Not wins and losses. No, T-Rich, I ain't talking about Carr's in a good situation with Waller. Okay, he got one weapon, but he's still, even before Waller, remember, Waller was suspended for a while. Derek Carr been putting up numbers for years, bro. Now, why am I bringing this point up in the first place? Aaron Rodgers, honestly, he ain't one of them guys to me. Aaron Rodgers is not one. He's one of those guys, but he right there on the cusp for me. But why am I bringing this up? Let me tell y'all why I'm bringing this up. There are guys who put up numbers in a bad situation. They are the ones that's worth putting as much as you can around them because they are elite. They carried their team for so long, but they couldn't get it done. But those are the guys that deserve for you to put everything around them. But where teams get fooled is when they put everything around guys that, if they didn't have everything, would look like trash or look very mediocre. See, Carr, without much or without a defense and all that, he didn't look mediocre. Matthew Stafford, without all those things, he didn't look mediocre. You still knew he was probably the best player on the field on offense. Deshaun Watson, when he didn't have everything, he didn't look mediocre. You still knew these guys. Andrew Luck, thank you for bringing that up. Andrew Luck ain't never had an O-line. He didn't look mediocre. Oh, my God. Andrew Luck is the perfect example of a guy who never had an O-line. It actually got him out of the league, but he was elite. He was one of the he was the Hall of Fame trajectory, if you want to talk real talk. Andrew Luck was going to be that. Andrew Luck was going to be the next Brady, Manning, love child. He was going to be a mix of Brady and Manning just put into one. He was going to be those guys put together without an O-line. We're talking about the worst O-line in the NFL for several years. That ain't no cap. That ain't no cap. A man who had the worst O-line in the NFL for several years, no cap, giving y'all the elitist business that you can get. 10. Giving you the most elite business you can get. And he wasn't even athletic. That's what you call an elite quarterback. But again, we basically just went through like 5 guys that when they had nothing around them, they still were balling out. Those are the guys that are worth putting more. But look at Matthew Stafford now. Never had anything around him. Now he might be considered on a team that's the NFL favorite. Team balling out right now. And we're not talking about guys who can have good games on occasions. We're talking about guys who constantly every week balled out, was literally season is over. They were the best offensive player on their team. They were balling. Those are the guys that deserve to invest in more around them. But it is so unfair. And ladies and gentlemen, let me be clear before I say this, because this is the last thing I'm going to say anyway, because I'm about to get out of here soon. I'm not calling these guys bums in that they're not elite. But it is so unfair that Dak Prescott comes in the league in the best situation since he came into the NFL. Because I still can't forget, I don't care that all y'all saying he's playing elite now and this and that. First of all, it's one of the best teams he's ever had right now. Let's get that straight. Second off, he came in the league inheriting everything. And I'll never forget around his 3rd year when Zeke was hurt, 2 of them offensive linemen was hurt, and the situation wasn't all perfect. Dallas Cowboy fans, because I lived in Dallas, were around here sitting here talking about, man, Dak ain't the answer. He ain't good enough to get it done. Blah, blah, blah. They had like a 5-game situation where he looked like trash, and yes, he did. And now they keep putting more around him, and they're looking better and better, and he's taking advantage of that. Again, how do you look when all these things aren't around you, though? We can praise him when your O-line is back, your guys off suspension, now you got weapons and this and that. We could praise him now, but man, do we forget how he looked when he didn't have everything? He didn't look like the rest of those guys we just mentioned when they didn't have everything. Patrick Mahomes came into the league and inherited everything he needed on offense. Perfect situation. And in a perfect situation, and y'all see, in a perfect situation, you're supposed to look good. People wondering, man, people keep playing these clips of Tua Tagovailoa in college. Where did this go? It ain't that it so much went anywhere, even though I do think he lost something with the hip injury. But he's no longer in a perfect situation. And the problem some of y'all need to realize is that in the NFL, it is so unlikely for you to ever be in a perfect situation. That's why you need to know what your quarterback is going to do in a non-perfect situation. And if they could play 8 or better level 8 on a scale of 10, if they could play football on a level of 8 or better without everything, they are the ones that you should go for broke for the future and try your best to keep trying to get everything around them. But if they playing like 6s and occasional 7s, you're stuck in mediocre, because even with a great team, those flaws are going to show up at times. All it takes is one game in the playoffs and you gone home. Josh Allen, when the team wasn't great around him, looked like a bum. He gets a receiver in a better O-line. Oh, all of a sudden he's great? No, because every time in the playoffs, when you play these great teams, that little inefficiency that you have is going to show, and you're going to go home. One loss is all it takes in the playoffs, and that's when that inefficiency shows. It's that simple, man. So all I'm trying to tell y'all, there are like 5 guys in this league that are worth trying to keep building around. Everybody else, they're sustainable, but it's fool's gold. The team is going to win 10, 11 games every year just to not win a Super Bowl. Just to not win a Super Bowl. And yeah, they might actually get one. Sometimes the circumstance can be perfect to get it. But these aren't the guys that's going to be perennials. These aren't going to be perennial guys, man. And y'all don't see that, you're going to live in quarterback purgatory forever. And that's why I always tell y'all, what if Tua is good enough to not be good enough? That is the worst feeling in the world. Having a quarterback who isn't a bum, but he also doesn't take your team to the next level. And that's all we've got from Tua since he's came into the NFL, is games that if all a quarterback has to do is take it. Games that we're in, it's right there on the platter for you. Just take it. Don't take it. Keeps waiting on the defense to take it. And who knows? We got 9 games. He could be good enough. And the truth is, we're just waiting on him to prove it so we could all change our tune. I can't wait for the day that people said, oh, TD changing his tune now. Now he raving about Tua. That just means Tua changed his tune, and he's worth being raved about. I have never hated the kid. I'm just waiting on him to give me a level of play that I can gloat about and be a fan of. And until that happens, I don't believe he's the guy for the long-term future in Miami. And if Miami goes down that road thinking that he is, they're going to pay for it. And if he proves me wrong, it's actually a beautiful day for me. Beautiful day for me. This is TD Fans Talk, home of the real Miami Dolphin fans. The Miami Dolphins got a lot to figure out. At this point for the rest of the season, we're in evaluation mode. A lot of the rest of this season, we'll be evaluating every player, especially Tua Tagovailoa. We will continue to figure out what he's improving in and what he still struggles in. And through that process, we have to point out his struggles, because that's all that matters from a standpoint of if he's improving. That's it. The only thing to talk about with Tua are not the things that we already know he does well. Okay, he does them well. The only thing to talk about are the things that he doesn't do well, so that we could see if he's actually improving in those areas. It's that simple. Appreciate y'all tuning in. Y'all hit that like button on your way out. I will catch y'all tonight. I believe we got the AFC's roundtable. I'll let y'all know what channel it is, that it's on at least. And we'll go from there, man. Fins up to everybody. Fins up to everybody. Appreciate y'all coming through, hitting that like button, and joining me on this stream. But I'm about to get up out of here, man. I done talked long enough. Yeah, it's almost 1 o'clock. I gotta go check on my stocks. All right, man. I'll see y'all soon. Peace. I am out.